Hello, my beautiful friends. It's Amanda here, and today we're going to talk about some of the Tarte holiday sets. They've released several little holiday collections and sets, so I picked up the two that I just felt most interested in and that I felt like I would actually use. So I ended up with this little set of cheek products. This is the Stay Golden Amazonian Clay Cheek Set in the pinks and corals option. There is another version of this cheek set called Reds and Berries. So I'll show you a picture of that one here. Looks like this one is more suited towards the deeper skin tone end of the spectrum. It seems like pinks and berries is more light to medium, and then reds and berries is more medium tan deep friendly. But these are just the colors that I was more drawn to in general anyway, so it worked out nicely. The set is priced at $45 US. I bought mine from Ulta, but you can find these elsewhere. I'll find the different retailers that carry these sets online, and I'll link a few different options for you in the description box. The other set that I purchased has these three eyeshadow palettes. This is the Golden Era Amazonian Clay Collector's Set. This one has three different 8-pan palettes. The one I'm wearing today is this one called Bejeweled, but we're going to take a close-up look at all three of these palettes as well. You'll just see this one used in a tutorial today. And the Golden Era set is priced at $55. They have a bunch of other little holiday pieces as well, and a lot of the things do look really cute. I was just trying to focus on the things that I felt like I was most likely to actually use and enjoy, so that's how I ended up with these two sets. But if there's something else from the holiday collection that you think looks interesting that you want to see me try out, let me know in the comments, because based on my experience with these sets, I am, not to spoil it, but I am likely to pick up more in the future. Now that you have the basic details, let's take a close-up look at these actual products, some swatches, and you can see them in action as well. We're starting first with these cheek compacts. I love all of the special packaging. These are a little bit prone to fingerprints, and I will say that this outer packaging that looks metallic, it is a heavy-duty plastic, but to me it doesn't feel super light and cheapy. I think you probably know what I mean. If you've touched enough makeup in your life, then certainly I think you're gonna pick up what I'm putting down here. I did sort of, based on the look of these, expect them to feel just a little lightweight and a little cheapy, but they really don't. Now, they're not a super heavy, luxurious type of feel either. It's definitely a nice middle ground, and I feel like for the price that I paid, I do think that this feels like a really nice quality. The look is quite beautiful. All of the powders have these special designs pressed into them. Overall, I just think that the textures are very pleasing to the eye. They feel very special and festive, and definitely what I want from a holiday collection. Of the 5 cheek powders in here, we have one that's called Shimmer. That's obviously a shimmery highlighter type of finish. And then all 4 blushes in here are just a straight up pure matte. There's no shimmery blushes. There's nothing with a sheen or a satin or a sparkle or anything like that. Now, I am typically somebody who doesn't love an all matte cheek look. I do have drier skin and I do prefer a more glowy finish on my cheek products. However, with that being said, I really am a fan of these blushes. I think that they have just such a beautiful, soft texture. It really feels like it melts into my makeup and melts into my skin. And once I add that shimmer highlighter, I really get the glow that I'm looking for. But even just with these matte blushes, I was quite pleased with the finished look on my face. They didn't look dry and flat like matte finish powders often do on my skin. Like I said, I have dry skin. I also have what is considered to be more mature skin. I'm about to turn 39, so in the beauty industry, that is mature skin. I decided for the application portion here that I wanted to try to use several of these cheek colors. So what I'm doing is using this more neutral blush called Timeless, and I'm applying that with the Singe brush that I often use for bronzer. And I'm sort of putting that lower down where I might put a bronzer on my cheeks. And then I'm just sort of blending that out to add a general warmth to the face. I'm not wearing any bronzer or anything right now. The only cheek colors that I'm going to wear today are what you see me applying here. So I did put that a little bit lower down, almost in like a more of a draping type of technique. And now I'm going to use this brighter peachy coral blush called Polished. And I'm going to put that a little bit higher up on my cheeks. That way I get to use two blushes for this look. And I think these blended together really nicely. The colors really complemented one another. And I felt like my overall look ended up being really nice. That bright pop of the coral color contrasted nicely and almost made this Timeless blush shade look like a bronzer on me. And then I was definitely too heavy-handed with the shimmer highlighter. I just dipped my brush right in there and swiped onto my cheeks. I didn't really notice how much was actually on there because the bristles of this brush are white. So once I put it onto my face, I was like, oops, too much. So I just went around the edges with my foundation brush that I had used to apply my base product. I didn't have any additional product on there, but I just used it to sort of smooth out those edges and give me a little bit more of a natural glowy look and not so much of a metallic stripe. Not only did I end up absolutely loving the finished look on my cheeks because it looks beautiful and natural and really just blended into my makeup, but this wore fantastically well. I wore this all day long, and my blush and highlighter were still there after my full day of wear. So I was really impressed with that because blush often disappears first on me. So absolutely recommend the cheek products. I'm gonna dive into the eyeshadows now. Spoiler alert, I also recommend these. We're gonna look at the Bejeweled palette first. This one really caught my attention because it has that very neutral, almost cool leaning, but when you see the shades swatched, you'll be able to tell even more so that there is a little bit of warmth, a little bit of cool, and a little bit of neutral. So this is my favorite of the palettes. Performance wise, I like all of them. Colors wise, this one's my favorite, and consequently, it's the one I'm gonna wear for the application demo today. Typically, it's hard for me to get excited about an entirely neutral, very brown heavy palette just because I feel like that it has been undeniably done to death. But I do think there are a few things here that help this one really stand out in my collection. Obviously, the beautiful packaging, the printing on the powders, all of that really works for me. I love that this has a nice mirror inside so I can see myself definitely traveling with this one. I always take a little neutral palette with me whenever I travel, and then I add in either a colorful palette or colorful singles. Anyway, this isn't a travel video. So this palette, aside from the beautiful packaging and the nice mix of some warm, cool, and neutrals, it also just has a really, really lovely texture. I found that these were absolutely a pleasure to apply and blend as I layered the shades. It was just super easy to work with. I felt like it would be kind of impossible for me to mess up my eye look because the formula was so easy to work with. It's pigmented enough that it shows up on the lids, but it's not so heavy with pigment that it feels difficult to blend or intimidating to work with. It's just that nice middle ground. I think that anybody who has experienced the disappointment of a lackluster holiday eyeshadow palette knows what I mean when I say I did expect these to be a little bit dry or a little bit underwhelming or a little bit blah, mediocre. And these feel fantastically luxurious formula wise. I would say they're right at the midpoint packaging feel and actual formula texture of the eyeshadows. I would say these feel quite luxurious. The mattes are very velvety. They remind me of some of my Huda Beauty shadows. I would even say this reminds me of some of my Unearthly matte shadows. And the shimmers are very, very intense and foily. I really thought I was going to get a little wash of sparkle, especially based on the fact that I ordered these online. I didn't see them in store, so I really didn't know what to expect from these textures. And these are super foily, super metallic. I know that not everybody loves that. I personally really, really love that. I really want a thick, foily shadow just because I feel like it has such a high impact on the lids. I really like that super coverage, super metallic look on the lids. And this gives it to me. I just absolutely love this. I know I ended up doing kind of a more basic look. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can do about the fact that these are pretty tame color stories at the end of the day. I guess I could have used the pink one if I wanted to do something bright and bold. But if you know me, you know pink is probably my least favorite eyeshadow color to wear. So I do find myself wishing that the Elegance palette went more purple than pink. From a consumer sales standpoint, though, I do understand that pink probably is a little bit more approachable for their target audience for this collection. So I can't fault them for that. And I'm sure that my own preference for purple over pink isn't necessarily the prevailing opinion. So I will not be too sad that I got a pink palette instead of a purple palette, especially because I absolutely love the way that this whole look turned out. I was leaving this makeup application excited to use these products again the next day. And from the point of view of somebody who tries a lot of makeup, tests a lot of different things, that's not always the case for me. Some things, even if I like the way they perform, they just don't excite me. They don't inspire me. They don't make me want to reach for them the next day. Or, maybe worst of all, I just kind of forget about them, even though at the time I filmed, I might have enjoyed it. But then it sort of drops off my radar in favor of something that's either more tried and true or the next thing that's more exciting. But these products, cheeks and eyes, I was looking forward to wearing again the next day as soon as I finished my makeup. So I think that is really the biggest tell for me, especially because of how beautifully all this stuff wore throughout the day. I did not have sparkle fallout from my eyeshadow all over my face. I didn't have my blush and my cheek colors wearing off. Overall, just really, really incredibly impressed. I hope that this is setting the tone for my holiday product reviews because I'm really thrilled with these. Just inside and out, this feels like a full package. Now, I feel like every year when these sets come out, it is billed as a gifting opportunity. And certainly these are packaged in little boxes, little cardboard cartons that would be easy to wrap as a present. And personally, I like that there are these smaller palettes, these little smaller cheek color pans. It's entirely conceivable to gift these as is, but I think that it's even more fun if you're interested in gifting, but you're also a makeup lover, to take some of these sets, and they have a lot of other great sets too that I didn't pick up, to take these sets, break up the pieces. Maybe you keep a couple of things that you're interested in. Maybe you have a bestie who loves pink eyeshadow. Maybe you know somebody who is a warm tone lover and they have one warm tone palette that they wear all year long, or something along those lines. Take these sets, maybe keep a couple things, no judgment here, and then combine the other products into little curated gift sets for your friends. I think that's a fun idea. I also love the idea of having a makeup party. I would say this all the time in my ColourPop set reviews. invite me to your makeup party. Let's all pitch in 20 bucks together, buy a couple of these holiday sets, and then we'll hang out, we'll swatch things. Then we each get to pick our 3 favorite things, and then we'll eat charcuterie and drink wine and carve pumpkins. That literally sounds like my ideal day. Please, if you do that, invite me because that actually sounds like the perfect day. I will make the charcuterie, okay? Just let me know the time and place. Now that I have invited myself to your home, I just want to wrap up by saying these are incredibly high quality. I'm really, really impressed. I would go back for more of these holiday sets from Tarte, and fingers crossed that this is what we're going to continue to see because I'm excited. I really like these. Even the kind of less exciting color stories have me excited. I'm really happy with the pieces that I purchased from this holiday collection. This is really what I want from a holiday makeup release. It gives me sort of those old school, like 2010s holiday set type of vibes, which maybe isn't necessarily a good thing for everybody, but this really, really works for me. I like all of the special packaging. I love all of the little details. I like that it's not so on the nose holiday. It just feels special and celebratory without being like snowflakes, peppermints. I like that. I like that this feels like it will be relevant year round. I like the colors they chose. I really, really like the performance of these products. All of the powders feel silky smooth and finely milled, and all around, I really, really love the pieces that I purchased. I kind of knew that the cheek products would go well for me. Tarte has a very strong track record, especially for blush, but for cheek products in general, in my opinion. So I was a little bit more nervous about how the eyeshadows might work. Sometimes in these little giftable sets, we do see a little bit of phoning it in formula wise, and that is not the case at all for these eyeshadows. They all feel really high quality and really high end. So I'm really impressed with the performance. I know the colors aren't super duper exciting. For those of you who are huge makeup fanatics like myself, you might look at these color palettes and say, oh, they're kind of underwhelming. They're kind of boring. And yeah, I think a lot of us hardcore makeup lovers and makeup collectors can say easily we have these colors already in our collection. But to be fair, we could probably say that about the majority of makeup releases. I don't think that that's a bad thing in this case. Something like a holiday set having a very large mass market appeal makes a lot of sense. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at seeing a bunch of neutrals coming out for a holiday set, especially in a set like this where these eyeshadow palettes, I think, can easily be purchased as a set and gifted individually. I don't think there's anything wrong with buying both of these sets, keeping your one favorite palette and your 1 or 2 favorite cheek products, and then splitting up and gifting the other ones to your friends, your coworkers, your siblings, your cousins, whoever in your family you can see using makeup on the daily, especially with colors like these that are very approachable. They are those everyday basic type of staples. At the end of the day, there are a lot of people in this world who do wear makeup every day and who want to have one eyeshadow palette that they use every single day, and this is what they wear, and they use it all up, and then next year for Christmas or whatever holiday, they will get one new neutral palette that they will use every day and wear every day. And I love that. I think that there's absolutely a space in the beauty world for that customer, and I think that this is a great option for whoever that person may be. And honestly, I'm not that person at all, obviously. And I still see myself using this really frequently. I like the tones in here. The performance is great. There's an even split of mattes and shimmers. There's a nice mirror. There's a nice travel-friendly case. I think that there's a lot of appeal for these little palettes and cheek products, and they're pretty. And I love pretty shiny things. Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about these holiday releases. Is there another set you're interested in? Have you tried these? Which colors are your favorites? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! I picked up... Hmm? Who's texting me? Oh, these spam texts and political texts and calls are so annoying. Is everybody else getting these? Like, how do these people even get my number? Leave me alone. Okay, we knew that. Anyway, back to the video. It's going fine. This silvery gold color is so pretty. I mean, it would be flattering on every single person. It doesn't matter what your style or your skin tone is. This really neutral, silvery, bronzy, goldy shimmer is going to look good on every single person. There's not a lot of things that I believe are universal, but a shade like this, I feel like is universal. Interesting. Okay, where was I? I'm ready for lunch. I'm hungry. Yeah, good job, Tarte. Good job. Good job. You know what? Their little Where did I move those big palettes to? These. I loved these. So I don't know why I was still expecting these smaller palettes to be a flop. It's just, when things are in sets, sometimes those sets are just not that great for me. So I'm happy to say these are really good. These are really good. I'm happy. And I realize I like a lot of things, but I am really picky about especially eyeshadow. I don't like having to make things work, especially when it comes to eyeshadow. And I feel like these are just easy. And I love that. All right. I think that's it. Did I say everything I was supposed to say? Guess I'll find out when I'm editing it. Yeah, it's fine. Thanks for watching. I'm glad you're here hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I hope that you're having a nice day. And you know what? This dried out on me really quickly. I feel like this dried out so much faster than the other mascaras that I've been using a lot lately. Like just the past couple of days, this has felt like it's time to get rid of it. Today when I used it, I was like, do I need to throw this away now? And I feel like I just opened this recently. I wonder if anybody else is having that issue. All right, I'm gonna go make myself some lunch now. I can't remember if I have leftovers. Ooh, I'm gonna toast a little sandwich. Oh, because it's cold out now. Toast the bread for a little Sammy. That sounds good. All right, I gotta go toast some bread. I'll talk to you later. Love your face. Bye.